What up, ninjas? Just out getting a little workout on. Not a jiu-jitsu workout. The other half of my workout, my other love in my life is skateboard and longboarding. So just out here getting a little bit of longboarding action on today. Cobra Kai, doing a whole Karate Kid thing here, right? This is my skating garb. This is my skating gi, if you will. Beautiful sunny day out here in Colorado, just surrounded by beauty all the way around. I mean, yeah. And that's important, right? It's important to surround yourself with people and things that are going to inspire you. For me, longboarding is one of those things, you know, I have only been doing it for like 2 years, so not a long time. If you think about it in the reality of jiu-jitsu, it's like I feel like I may be entering the blue belt realm now. Last year was my white belt year, and with the white belt year came a lot of bumps and bruises. It's interesting that feeling of going back and being the beginner again, right? And I always tell the white belts, you know, embrace being the white belt. You only get to be a white belt once. You're a beginner one time, and that's it. It's like the first 6 months, the first year, depending on your progression. So, yeah, you know, I mean, always a beginner's mind, right? For sure, always a beginner's mind. But a true beginner in the sense of I just got started, yeah, it only happens once. But with that, for me, for longboard, it also came with a host of, you know, some injuries and stuff too. And when I look back on it now, it's kind of funny. I kind of was like a total white belt in my first approach, my first year of longboarding. And when I say longboarding, I commute to work every day, so just about every day. So I'll skate, you know, from work about 6 miles each way. No motors on my longboard. I want my body to be the motor. Everybody asks me, "You're gonna get an electric board?" Dude, the e-boards are dope. They're cool. But I want to work out, man. I want to be challenged. I don't want to just stand on a board and be propelled. That's cool. But I like being the motor. I like the workout because I make it a workout. I sweat. I work when I ride. But I basically commute and I ride hills around here in Colorado. Nothing crazy, nothing like, you know, death-defying. But I will say that if I fell on any of the hills that I ride, I would definitely not come out on the winning, and I definitely wouldn't survive those falls. So there's definitely a degree of caution and a degree of danger in longboarding for sure. And I've learned a lot like the first year. Like there's hills that I would go down, I would try to go down last year that I had really no business going down. Kind of like being a brand new white belt and trying heel hooks, right? Like, not that you shouldn't practice them, but maybe not like in live rolling when you're a beginner, right? Like, I'm all about training the framework. So let's say you do want to do something that is a little bit more advanced. Like a good example for me was the Eminari roll, right? The inversion roll, the one I used to get to like the triangle, right? The Eminari is a cool technique. I didn't learn that technique until brown belt. Late in my brown belt. I was a brown belt for 13 years, right? But later into my brown belt, close to black belt, is when I learned it. When I say I learned it, I figured it out. There wasn't anybody around me that really knew how to do it at that point. So I went on YouTube, probably like you guys. I looked for an Eminari roll and I found somebody doing one, but not like teaching it. So I could see the roll, and then I was able to basically dissect it and reverse engineer it. And figure it out. But I sucked at it at first. I was terrible at it. It was like so frustrating at first. But what I did, my wife and I would get together after every open roll, and we would just spend like 15, 20 minutes every day trying that until we got it down. And then little by little, I would try it when I would roll with lower belts, and little by little, I'd get better and better at it until I got to the point where it felt like the technique matched the belt level that I was at, right? Like I could do an Eminari roll like a black belt, not like a white belt. So there's that same kind of progression I've seen like learning to longboard. You know, there were things that I was trying last year that I shouldn't have been trying, but maybe I worked my way up to it and learned the framework first and make sure that I can learn to stop the right way and I'm turning using the proper form. And so there was that little bit of a learning curve where I definitely fell a few times last year and banged up my wrist to the point where it's still kind of bugging me. And that's a great reminder. Like, you don't want to, you know, the danger in jiu-jitsu is that first 6 months to a year when you're sort of like bumbling your way around and maybe a little bit lost in your approach. And that's where I feel like the injuries can tend to happen. So it's really important that you're super mindful in those beginning stages of your training, and you're not trying to do things that are maybe outside of your skill set, right? Not that you can't practice the framework and drill the technique, but, you know, sometimes when you're trying certain techniques, it invites a counter move that can be dangerous, right? Footlocks is like that. You try a heel hook or a toe hold, and the other person's trying it on you, and maybe you don't tap quick enough, and then something bad happens. So just being mindful, you know, but practice the tricks and the cool stuff now. You want to build the framework now. You don't want to get to like brown or black belt, and you're trying something cool for the first time, and it actually is more difficult at that point because you haven't spent any time working on it yet, and now it's like this huge thing to overcome, versus you can just drill the skill set maybe a little bit here and there and build your way up to it. You know, and that helps a lot. And, you know, it's one of the, you know, it's a great reminder to me too, you know, when I think about skating and jiu-jitsu, the importance of the belt system in jiu-jitsu, the importance of those 4 belts, you know, the blue, purple, brown, and black, and, you know, white belt, you know, I guess the 5th belt. But it's important to have those differentiating factors that help separate the skill set, so that way you can look around and see what skill set someone is at when you go to roll with them. And it's important for you to know where you should be in your skill set, right? Where should I be at white belt? What should I be practicing at blue belt? What should I be practicing at purple, brown, black belt, etc.? It helps you set the tone for your training. And I think the belts do a really great job of, you can, you know, seeing where people are. Like, you can kind of look around, like in every school, like there's a certain skill set or skill level at blue belt. You're going to have some lower end blue belts, some more higher end blue belts, and you're going to have sort of these middle of the road blue belts, right? But there's going to be sort of this average kind of in there, and they're all going to be kind of about the same skill sets with some highs and lows, and you kind of see that at every belt. And that's important too. So understanding kind of where you are, being mindful of staying within the realm of your reality, you know, not trying to go down like me, like steep, crazy hills when I'm not ready for steep, crazy hills, but working my way there. The way that I work my way down a hill is I go up the hill about, you know, 20 feet, and then I ride down. I go up a little bit further, and then I ride down, and I work my way up that hill. Just like in jiu-jitsu, step by step, maybe using the belts as your guideline to get to where you're trying to get to. All right, ninjas, I'm gonna get back to getting on this awesome skateboard here and ride down some fun hills. Happy training, stay on the mats.